Hey, YouTube. I'll give y'all a second to come in here. Well, I guess I should start with this. Listen, I'm about 5 days late with this story. People say I'm supposed to wait, though. We have a song. Is it a song about justice? Hey, Rainy Boo. Still standing, vinyl talk. Listen, I want to talk for a minute here about the situation with this dude, Derric Chauvin, who is now, I just found out 5 days ago, he was released on bail. See, this is such bullshit. Now, we saw this man murder George Floyd. The whole damn country was in an uproar. And this dude is able to walk out of prison, out of jail, because he raised the money. What bullshit? How many people are in there for shoplifting? You can't raise. I was in jail before, and the bail was $50. I didn't have it. So you could come in there, and you could have a case of something like attempted murder. And if you had enough money, you can get out of jail while I'm sitting in there for a $50 bail. This is crazy. On the ballot this year in California, they're trying to do away with this whole bail system altogether. Now, people who have resources and money and so forth, they may not think that's fair. But what about the people who don't have no damn resources? This dude has sit up here and murdered somebody in front of a crowd of people through the whole country. Buildings have been burned. Vehicles have been burned up. There's even been death in protest of the way this man was treated. And he's able to get out because he has money. That's such bullshit. That's why the jails are so full of black people. You would be amazed at how many black people are currently right now in jail because they have no bail money. If they had bail money, none of them would be anywhere near a jail or a sentencing eventually. If you have enough money to pay for it, it shouldn't make a difference if you have money or not. Justice should not make a difference who has the most money. Now, this dude is out walking around, watching television. They even made a provision in his bond that he could leave the state where nobody would know him, although he's pretty popular right now. Nobody would know him. But more than likely, he'll move to one of those counties where these racists and these people like that are, because somebody paid that bail, that bond. Is there a difference between bail and bond? I don't know. I don't remember. I never got no bail or no bond, honey. I just went to jail and did my time. Anyway. So he can go anywhere. So obviously he's going to go to one of these small places where these people feel like it's okay what he did. Right? How in the hell is that justice? Then they're going to stretch it out for probably a year, 2 years before he has a trial. Right? And most of the time, they just walk. He's just a slightly inconvenienced for what he did. If he did it once, that's the one time we caught him on camera doing it. That wasn't his first time abusing people. So now you got this monster. People say I use monster a lot. This monster who sat on that man's neck for over 8 minutes. Have you ever went swimming and try to hold your breath for 3 minutes? Triple that. That's how long he was standing on this man's neck. You go down under the water, you got to come up. You got to get air. Anyway, people, I'm sorry I'm late with this story. Apparently it happened 5 days ago. I haven't been paying attention. I think it's a terrible thing. It shouldn't make a difference how much money you have. And now, with this new way of crowdfunding, anybody can get out of jail. Any of these kind of people can get out of jail because they have these popular cases, right? So all they got to do is start a GoFundMe. I don't know who paid for this guy, one of these organizations, some racist outfit, or they just do a GoFundMe when they have cases like this, because then all the racists come out of the bushes and they all want to support you getting out of jail. Right? So how in the hell is that justice? Then you get a man with a crack pipe in his pocket and you want to send him all the way to prison. You would be amazed at how many people are in prison for bullshit charges. Charges because they choose to smoke crack. Not because they stole anything or hurt anybody or did anything to anybody else. They just had a rock in their pocket. and they end up in prison. This man damn near beat his wife to death, and he walks the next day. That's not a good system. So I am down for this. I already voted. I hope I voted right. This initiative, I don't know if they'll be able to do it this year, but at least the process has started, where it's not going to make a difference if you have money or not. It's going to make a difference. Are you a flight risk and the severity of your crime? You shouldn't be held up in jail for shoplifting. And then you got people coming in here with violent crimes and they walk the same night. Why? Because they have money. That's broken. It's a broken system. How do y'all feel about this? Should you think the dude should at least be in jail to the trial? I mean, damn. Should it depend on money? I mean, the judge it used to be in the old days, see? In the old days, if you made somebody's bail $1 million, that means they got to come up with $100,000 cash. They'd be done, right? They got to sit there until the trial comes, right? But now with all this crowdfunding and all these organizations and all this kind of shit, it's nothing to raise some money. If you are have any kind of celebrity or your case is big or anything, or people have some kind of political interest in your case, they can start a GoFundMe and get you out that night. This is the downside of crowdfunding. Hey guys, how are you? Bless your little hearts. How you doing? Hey, Vinyl Talk with Travis. Rainy Boo. Hey, Deanna Irving. I see your boys over there chopping it up about you. You and who else? Oh, he's dissatisfied with you and the Oracle. This YouTube's a mess, honey. I found it very entertaining. I didn't even turn my television on yesterday because they had so much tea. So much going on in YouTube. Maybe it's keeping us out of trouble. We stay home and play on this thing. Ain't that ridiculous? Because you have money. That's just saying, I mean, it's a slap in the face to people. How you call it justice? If you have money, you get out. If you don't have money, you stay stuck in prison. So if they go to all these jails all over the country, especially, I don't have a lot of experience with LA County Jail, but they just pack them in there like sardines. And then the serious criminals will walk. They come in, they're in there for a couple of hours, and they process out. They keep him in protective custody and process out. They even said this dude, he doesn't even have to. Usually you have to stay in town, right? When you're out on bond. He don't even have to stay in town. His life is in danger. He's going to go right to one of them racist counties where they think it was a good thing that George Floyd was killed. You got to have law and order. Goddamn people. I mean, especially a case like that. I guess after they raise the money, there's nothing the judge can do about it. He already set the bail. You can't go up there and you have the money and then they raise, okay, no, we're going to change it to 10 million. I believe like in most cities, you pay 10%. I think that 10% goes to the bail bondsman. You got to pay the bail bondsman put up the amount or sign off to it, saying they're responsible for it. But you got to pay them $100,000. And I believe they said that some what do you call it? Some group paid his bail. That's another racist group. Who else will pay a bail to somebody like that? Somebody you don't even know. And they wonder why they riot. Ain't no damn justice. You see these white kids, they're getting pulled over. They done killed 3 people in a vehicular homicide. 2 weeks later, they're out there on the street. Oh, Daddy paid the bail. Shouldn't make a difference. That ain't justice. Justice is all being treated the same. You killed a man. Then they're going to drag this goddamn court case out and drag it out. And more than likely, it's going to end up like most of the rest of them, where they walk. Then they got all these ambulance chaser lawyers. They pop up so they can get famous. They take the case for free, pro bono. So he ain't got to pay his own bail. He ain't got to pay his own lawyer. He ain't got to do shit but sit there and smile and grin with a smirk on his face. Because I got away with killing him. Yeah, I killed his ass. He shouldn't have resist. That's the death penalty. They won't even let you know where he lives. Because they know they will be picketing outside his house. So where does that money go? I believe the $100,000 goes to the bail bondsman. And if he don't show up for court, or he decides it's better for him to run because he's gonna definitely get some years, he might decide it's better to run. Then the bail bondsman is on the hook for the whole $1 million. But they don't got to run down there with $1 million in cash. Since they're in that business, they just sign their name saying they're responsible for it, right? But bail bondsman ain't doing it for free. He's not no nonprofit. So I believe it goes to the bail bondsman. Maybe there's a split there some kind of way. But they are signing off for $1 million. So misdemeanor offenses. I cannot tell you how many times I've sat in that damn jail. Couldn't get out. But that one that sticks in my mind is that $50. I stole something. I mean, I was a drug addict, so I stole something from some store, some damn where. Like you guys, you go to the supermarket, every once in a while you'll see somebody hemmed up. They done stole something to eat. They're hungry, honey. They're hungry because they're homeless. They ain't got nowhere to cook. Anyway, it's wrong, always wrong to steal. But why should that person be treated worse than a person who just got drunk driving and killed 3 people? I won't say a murder charge. Usually a murder charge, you don't get out. But how can we say a murder charge usually don't get out on bail when we're sitting here looking at this damn cop just got out? What was he in there for, 4 or 5 months? Maybe that's how long it took him to raise the money. You can raise money for anything these days. Not if you're a poor black person. Don't nobody know who the hell you are. Who you gonna call? Misdemeanor offenses. You go into jail. But one thing that is, I was amazed to find out though. Yeah, when you go to county jail here in San Francisco, mostly black and brown people. You go in LA County, especially, just people packed in there like sardines and all that kind of stuff, mostly black and brown people. But when you actually get to prison, the prison is packed with white people. They got just as many white people in there as they got with black people. Why? Because they're in there for serious crimes. When you go to prison level 4, level 5, is it level 4 or level 5? I think it's level 4, 3, 4. Maybe it's level 5 too. When you get to those kind of prisons where people have murder charges and things like that, huge embezzlement charges, things like that, money charges, stuff like that, all kind of violent crimes. When you get to serious crimes, there's just as many white people as is black. Most of the black people in there, they can't make bail. Some petty drug crime. That's what it is. I'm sorry. And then you get to the pen, there's mostly people in there for violations. See, after they get you on parole, essentially they own you. So you go back. I say I've been to prison 10 times, but I think it was only 3 charges, actual charges. All the rest of the times, they just send you back to prison, right? Because you're on parole. Now, granted, I was dirty every time. I'll make no excuses for that. I was in that life. I was hooked on drugs. So, but all the times that I went back to prison, they were always on violations, because if you get busted with dope, whether you're selling it or using it, you get busted for dope, they just drop the charges because they already own your ass. So you go back to prison on a violation. That's the way I did most of my time. Violation, 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 violation. It's terrible. Sometimes you get in there, you're trying to defend yourself, and you go in with 2 years and come out with 20 because you had to defend yourself something in prison. You got in some kind of trouble in there. You sold some kind of drug in there. You're trying to interest the gangbangers so they don't kick your ass. So you go and do something stupid. That ain't justice. You got Donald Trump out here owing people $400 million. Let me owe $40. I just told you my crime. Some of them was less than $100. Go to jail. See the judge. You got to see the judge first. All that kind of shit. This dude's walking around owing $400 million. That's just one of the I think he owes the government $100 million. You try to figure how the hell can you owe the government $100 million when you only paid $700 last year and year before that? So are you saying that he has committed a crime and now he owes? I mean, how did he get the bill up to $100 million? Right? That's saying that it must have been a crime or something perpetrated, or why would you owe him the money? Local elections. Yeah, that's on the ballot this year. Doing away with your bill should be set by what flight risk are you? And also, do you pose a threat? Is there any violence? Is there any domestic violence? Things like that should determine if you get out or not. Your own recordinances, they call it. So they got to even things up. Even things up, because the white people, they committing just as many crimes. Remember that there's 70% of America? With those kind of numbers, you know they got to have a lot of criminals, but you don't see them in jail. Like I said, it's something strange. You don't see them in jail, because jail is before you get to court, right? Oftentimes. You can only do a county jail. You can only do a county year. Anything more than a year is prison, right? So how is it that the prison is full with black and white people? I don't want to say equally. I don't know the exact numbers, but plenty of white people, Aryan Brotherhood and all that kind of people. They're all up in prison too. In prison because they have committed serious, heinous crimes, murders, attempted murders, conspiracy to commit murders. All of these kind of crimes. When you get to prison, it's not so divided. County jails are packed because people can't get out. That's what it comes down to, people. You're supposed to be, in the old days, $1 million would have been a decent bail. But that ain't shit now. $100,000, you can raise that. Shit, I've seen people on here raise that. I've seen people who had a tragedy, their house burned down, raise that in a couple of days. People, they ain't doing this GoFundMe stuff as much as they were like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, everybody was having GoFundMe for everything. Right? But yeah, all those races just give up $5 a piece. They can get anybody out. I hate to say it's a racial thing, but I think it is. Who's gonna go and bail out a person like that after what he did? For what? What's the point? You don't think it's wrong that he stood on that man's neck for 8 minutes right in front of a crowd of people, where the people around him are standing there begging to please let him go? He can't breathe, to let him go. The man knows that he was killing their man. He's been a cop long enough to know what he was killing him. Surely there's some kind of training to know what happens when you cut somebody's air off. And he's not even bothered by all the people standing around. And how much could this man have insulted him in the few minutes that they encountered each other? And he got backup. He got all these goddamn guns and mace and all these options. But he just has to sit there and murder that man. What kind of person is that? What kind of flight risk is that? Because he didn't raise the money. I don't know why they think, oh, you got to come up with a certain amount of money, then you can get out because you came up with a certain. No, that ain't his money. Somebody raised that. One of them damn racist groups raised that money. I bet you. If not, they GoFundMe the money. He ain't paid shit. He probably hadn't even gone in his own personal bank account. The damn woman that left, the woman left the same day, I believe. So he was probably abusing her as well. So this ain't no Charlie Brown to be dealing with here. What is his flight risk? You in an undisclosed location, facing 30, 40 years in prison. You think my ass is going to get child, please. Mr. Tim, are all the stores open in San Francisco yet? No. San Francisco looks like a ghost town. There is a store I need to go to. They give you more on a drug charge than all your to them subjects here. Okay, so no, San Francisco stores are not open. A lot of them are boarded up, and a lot of them have moved out. The gyms have moved out. A lot of these clothing mom and pop stores, they've moved out. If you go down to Market Street, it's like a ghost town. Now, the high-end stores, which also got looted, they're open. And from what I can tell, the department stores are open, but I don't go to departments. I have a friend. He's a moderator on here, Gambridge Car. He goes to department stores all the time. I guess for a while you had to stand outside and all that kind of stuff. They tell me now that the barbershop's open this week, so I'm contemplating getting a haircut. I ain't gonna cut it. I'm gonna keep it just like this, just trim all this kind of shit off. And my dog, he getting a haircut this week too, on Wednesday. But as far as I know, most of it's still closed. Blind Spot. They give you more on a drug charge than they do on child home court, right? Right. Petty crimes. You get more on that. Thank God they finally changed the laws on marijuana. Used to be you go to jail in San Francisco, everybody in the damn jail, all the white people in the San Francisco jail were all in for selling marijuana on Haight Street. They just go collect some bodies. That's the thing. Haight Street is where like a lot of hippie types. It was real popular in the 60s, a lot for hippies and all that kind of stuff. Where still a lot of those type of people out there, street kids, you know. But their main thing over there is ganja, marijuana. Now is legal, but I don't think it's legal for you to sell marijuana. They can bust you, and as long as you got less than an ounce, I believe you're okay, or you might get a citation. But at least they did decriminalize that. There probably should be some other drugs that decriminalize. Now, I will admit, drugs bring crime. If you're an addict, you have to have money. So a lot of people get victimized behind drugs. But now how are you going to sentence me based on what I might do? That's how they treat crackheads or people who do crack. They treat particularly crack for some reason because it's such a fast thing where you'll hit it and then you 15 minutes later you gotta hit it again, then you gotta hit it again. So it's more of a desperate type of thing. Thank God I'm seeing a lot less of that, crackheads on the street and stuff like that. But what was I talking about? I was talking about dope. Lost my chain of thought. God damn it. That hadn't happened in a while though. Maybe that Prevagen was working. Anyway. Yeah, they sentence you when you caught with drugs. They sentence you on what you might do. In other words, if you do drugs, you might break into cars. If you do drugs, you might break into houses. All they're sure of, if you do drugs, you're getting the money from somewhere, and it's not likely that you're getting it from a job. Right? Is that fair? I'm gonna arrest you for what you might do. There was a movie like that where the guys came back from the future or something. Was that Tom Cruise? And they knew the people were going to commit crimes in the future, so they would just arrest them then or eliminate them, exterminate. I forget what the movie was called. But that shit ain't fair. It's not fair. That crime should fit. The last few, not since I stopped using, but now they take a lot of drug addicts, people with just drug problems, drug crimes, stuff like that. People who are caught with drugs, they usually throw your ass in prison. But now they're sending a lot more of them to drug programs. So you get a couple of chances before you make it, which is the way it should be, because it really is a problem of addiction. Addiction is the issue. I don't think it's right to be sentencing people to these harsh terms, putting them in prison because you feel like they might do something that they haven't done, or you have no proof that they did it. The minority, you're so smart. The Minority Report. That's right. Go and kill their ass. Be quiet, ding dong ding. What's wrong? What's wrong? Ding dong ding. What are you doing? What are you doing? So handsome. Hi, Mr. Sudi. Are used to go to Amoeba Records. Oh, okay, Blind Spot. My friend lived in that place on Haight Street, and there are a lot of weird things to go on that street. You're right. They still hippies, honey. A lot of panhandle. It's weird what happened to Haight Street because in the 60s, all the hippies came there, right? Free love and all that kind of stuff. They had a period for a few years in the late 60s. And then now it's a cross between very high-end stores like designer shops and homeless people. Young kids who come here and just sleep on the street. They call it grunge or whatever. People don't take baths, but there's those hippie types, and they're young. I mean, they don't know anything about a damn hippie. They're in the early 20s, but there's still a lot of that going on Haight Street. But yeah, I think Amoeba Records might be still open. So many stores, and Haight Street was one of the hardest streets hit when Corona came, because they were already having a hard time because of all this online stuff, where the mom and pop shops were having a hard time. And the rent got so high. I have a feeling this rent is about to drop dramatically in San Francisco, though. It's already starting to drop with housing. The rents have dropped pretty dramatically. Where it used to be maybe $4,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Now that I understand it's something like $2,500. There's a guy on here. What is his name? Jermaine Ellis. If you guys are interested in anything about San Francisco, he tours all over San Francisco and tells you all about it. He takes tours in buildings and tells you about rent and tells you about the situation here in San Francisco. Now, this is a guy who I've met several times on the street. We just bumped into each other. This is a guy who used to be a world traveler. On Tuesday, he might be in Afghanistan somewhere. I don't know. Paris, London. He was all over the place. He was always traveling. And he was a travel reporter, whatever. But now, since Corona's happened, he's only talking about San Francisco. He did a lot of work on New York City. But anyway, I recommend him. I don't do that a lot, but Jermaine Ellis, young black kid. He's pretty thorough. Mm-hmm. They also took away my favorites. This store. All the thrift towns are gone, baby. Thrift town is gone. Only one that's still here, blind spot, is the one over there on Valencia. Now, I used to go in that one every day, just in my walk, my exercise walk. I would walk there. I loved it there. A lot of this shit came out of there. But almost all of them are gone now. All the Goodwills and all that kind of stuff. They had a housing boom here right before Corona, where they were buying up all these small places, and they building high rises on them, building tall buildings on them. So blind spot. Remember where the old Goodwill used to be on Van Ness and Mission? That's a huge high rise. It's like 30-something stories high, and all of these little shops, they closed down. They couldn't afford the rent. So let's hope that the rent is more reasonable after this thing is over, because all these businesses are going to have to start up again. A lot of businesses are going to be trying to start up now, as far as storefronts and things like that, because a lot of them are boarded up and moved away. They couldn't support their business for 6 months with no income. Yeah, but Thrift Town is definitely gone. Goodwill is gone. Let me see. There's still one on Haight Street, but Goodwill is mostly junk now. It used to be you had good stuff in there. I don't know what happened there, but it's not really worth your time. Thrift Town was okay. I mean, thrift shopping is like an adventure, right? I used to love it. Now I go to the consignment shops. That's the only thing left. But hell, consignment shops cost you 20 times more than the same shit you got at the thrift shop. And a lot of times you go in the thrift shop and you find out all this stuff that's gone that was there yesterday is because a lot of these stores, these consignment stores, they go there and shop too. They bring their truck and just buy everything at a discount rate. And what's that? And they get a better rate because they buy in bulk or whatever. And then you go into these consignment shops. You say, damn, I've seen that. I just saw it last week at the thrift town. So it could be an interesting business. Mm-hmm. Oh, Justin, they are saying, what's fake news? What happened? Mulatto King Justin, what happened? Mulatto King Justin, what do you think of these actual real plots of kidnapping American state governor? I think that happened. I believe it. I believe it, honey. Look what they did to Oklahoma City. Shit. These people is crazy. And Trump is throwing it. They always, you may blame it all on Trump. You go, when you're the president, you go out and give these words, these whistle words, these dog whistles, right? Telling these people that it's okay to be the way you are. Trump went up there and criticized that woman because she tried to cut her shit. See, that is what you call it when you are prejudiced against women or you treat them differently. Is that called a what is it called, ladies? When you treat women differently? Because why has he jumped all down on that woman in Michigan? He always called her out about what a monster she was because she closed the damn businesses down and tried to work with this coronavirus like every other state is doing. Every other state run by men. But he got so much to say about her. And then she done triggered these nuts to come and actually plot to kidnap her. I hope they all get life in prison because kidnapping runs right along with murder. Right? As far as time, we'll have to see. God willing, we'll have a different president in the White House by the end. Because Trump would be, he came out for that 16-year-old boy that came out there and killed 2 people in the protest. Trump came out in support of the boy. It matters. Now he's losing his mind more and more. They're going to blame him on drugs, but the thing is, he's just being revealed more and more. He's always been a nut, a lunatic. I can't believe it's only going to be 3 weeks. Lord, have mercy. Then they're going to start investigating that ass. He's still going to be our entertainment. Believe that. He's going to be investigated until the day they put him in the ground. So as far as his family and leaving his family money, one of the first things he did was cut taxes for inheritance taxes, right? But you got to have something to inherit. So as far as all of his family go, your papa was a rolling stone. And when he died, all that he left you was alone. It's all been hype. The great American story. We had the man behind the curtain. He says that demonic corona are in demonic states. Ain't that something supposed to be the president? You don't say shit like that. You're the president of the United States. You're the president of everybody. See, you never got that feeling that when Obama was in office, we never got the feeling that he was the president of the Democrats. It never crossed your mind. This is the president of the United States. He had to govern the whole world. A lot of black people say, oh, you're supposed to be more of an activist for black people, do this for black people. No, that was not your position. You were hired as the president. Trump has always been the president of the Republicans. That's it. All you got to do is be supportive of him, and he supports you. Why? Because they like Trump. They like Trump. Idiot. And all these people he brought in the White House this weekend, did y'all see the age of those kids he brought in there with no mask on? Did you? I mean, a lot of them had masks on, but they're still in that crowded environment, no spacing. Did you see the age of those people? Those were students, kids, people who want to come to the White House. You think Trump gives a fuck? He got 40 people in there with coronavirus. Oh, we only got 47 likes. People, give us some likes. Encourage us. Encourage ourselves. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself. Please give us some likes, people. Trump is a male chauvinist pig, among other things. He is a narcissist. He is a real textbook narcissist. I don't know why these people calculated that it's okay. It's okay if he's a narcissist. We know he's a narcissist, but we don't care. It's okay. He's lied on camera 20,000 times. Oh, that's okay. You can't take it personally. He's not lying directly about you. How did these people convince themselves he's a chauvinist pig? Oh, that's okay. He's not going to do it while he's in office. I mean, I can understand the way the human mind works. I just don't get it. How would you think this person was some kind of president? I mean, God damn, he came in here talking about, why would you come down your initial announcement that you're going to run for office? You immediately go after the Mexican people. Now, we are all been living with Mexican people for 100 years. How did they all become rapists all of a sudden? Because you Trump, nasty master manipulator, you said, oh, these people in the Midwest, They scared of Mexicans. They think it's too many of them. They're scared because you got Mexican neighborhoods now. Instead of embracing these people and using their talents, because they are very hardworking people, you go and brand them racist, and then you spend the next 2 years trying to run them out of the country because they excite your base of nothing. Listen here, I'm not running for shit. Shout out to Hillary Clinton. You're a basket of deplorables. What do y'all think? Should this man be able to get out of prison because he's able to come up with the money? Should it all come down to money? What if a poor black person goes in there and they got $1 million bail? Do they get out? They can't raise the money. They got no militia organizations donating. Even if you got a good job, you can afford your bail, right? Why are you better than the other person who can't afford it? It shouldn't make a difference how much money you have. You shouldn't be able to just buy your way in and out of jail. Now, what kind of stunt is Trump going to pull to get out of all this financial trouble he's in? Lying the whole time to us, telling us he's this big billionaire. He knew that all that time that he was in debt for nearly $1 billion. That's minus $1 billion. He not only is he not a billionaire, he's probably got one of the biggest debts the government's ever known. All the time lying, hiding his taxes. Oh, I'll tell you when the what do you call that damn thing? When the audit is over, then that audit is over. Oh, they have another audit. I get audited regularly. So when we gonna get the taxes, Trump? God damn. When does the spin stop? And now the spin is stopped, and we realize you've been lying to us the whole time. You ain't got no million. You just played one on television. Why would a billionaire in charge of all these companies need to be going and being on TV in a reality show? He needed the money. And he blew all that money. I'm sure your daddy is rolling around in his grave. He said, this dude is the president of the United States and broke as a church mouse. So he feel like he can stay in office. He can delay all this till he's 80-something years old. He'd be ready to die by then. Pitiful. Pitiful. Somebody said that there was 4,000 books written about him around the world. I know I've seen at least every person that comes on television, they all wrote a book about him. Everybody's ever been around him, they all wrote a book about him. They all have the ring of the same thing, that he's an incompetent clown. Even his own family members. It's pitiful. I'll be so happy when that dude is gone. Who is this? Floyd Allen Harris. What are you doing? You come out here to clean us up? You gonna clean us up? Floyd Allen Harris said, God's ass name is not damn. You ignorant atheist shepherd of... Girl, I ain't no atheist. I love my God. I love God. There's only one God, honey. When you fools, idiots, are going to get it to your head. You don't own God. So you sitting there saying you can't say goddamn. That ain't changing nothing, honey. That just proves that you're an idiot. You need to get a life. You can get the fuck out of here. Let me see. How do I remove this? Let me see. High user on this channel. Okay. Goodbye, Floyd. Take your religion and shove it up your ass. How's that for language? They got you thinking that, oh, cuss words, what's important? And you put that motherfucker in the White House who's polluting the goddamn airways and inviting all these young kids this weekend. Don't give a shit, killing them so they can come in and wave his praise. Idiots like you, Floyd. Oh, he's a Christian man. Why is he a Christian man? Because he did this? Tear gas, people are laying on the goddamn ground grasping for air. Fucking idiot. You make God's name a bad word because you leave a bad taste in people's mouth, Floyd Allen Harris. You should be preaching the gospel instead of worrying about some goddamn what word somebody's using. Silly ass. Find out what the difference between religion religion and Christianity is. What is a Christian? Has it got anything to do with all of your little rules and regulations? Oh, you gotta wear the long dress. Oh, you're being immodest, unmodest. You don't even know what religion is. Ask the Middle Easterns what religion is, honey. You don't do shit. You just do what's convenient for you. And why you bring your ass over here? And you got my blood pressure going. Calm down, blood pressure. How many presidents? Oh, well, I was high most of the time. I never counted them up. When I was growing up, Nixon was the guy. So that's what I remember was Nixon trying to impeach Nixon. Although he worked there, he quit. He finally gave up so he could stay out of prison. What was it? Nixon, then Carter. Well, it was Johnson, then Nixon, then Carter. Then who was after Carter? Reagan. I don't know, 6, 7 of them. I never got interested into Obama ran, but I was always loaded, so I didn't give a fuck about no damn politics. But I got interested when Obama ran, and I had so much hope then. It seemed like the world was changing. I had so much enthusiasm about, and then we dropped this motherfucking fool, this idiot, and all hope died. I said, well, goddamn, this country ain't came all that far. I thought we came that far when I saw all those crowds of people who supported Obama, and I saw all the people all the different races of people who supported Obama, and I saw all the good things that he did, and I saw how he came out for gay people and gay marriage. Even though he didn't make the law, he still came out and supported us like he said he would, because it was the right thing to do. When was the last time we heard anybody say anything about the right thing to do? It's all about preserving white. So that was an exciting time. This time here, this is the opposite. What are you, Hogwarts Department? Anti-Sherlock Holmes? Anti-Sherlock Malcolms. I don't know what that means, Hogwarts. You ain't saying nothing nasty, so I guess you're not a troll. First warning, troll. You made the Toronto's cry. I guess you're all right. That's just your avatar or whatever. Paula White for the goddamn, that's the spiritual counsel. Girl. Y'all sit up there and count $100 bills up in Trump Towers. He would love somebody like that. Hogwarts, stop taking up my whole chat, please. There you go. They got you. You might not be a bad person, but we don't have time for all that, honey. Hey, Ms. Motown, thank you. Ms. Motown, I'll be able to give you guys some money. A tip. When is it? The YouTube has gotten the YouTube check's looking real good this month. I'm surprised. It might be all them goddamn commercials they keep shoving in here. People, just for the record, I hate commercials. I don't like them at all. So if you don't, now they done fixed it to where content creators have to go in and take the commercials out. In other words, I guess if you have a certain amount of subscribers, they'll put all these commercials in, right? It used to be you had to add the commercials in the middle of your videos. Now they just put them in there. And if you don't go and take them out, if you're doing something else, you're not paying attention, they got a commercial every 34 seconds. It's disgusting. So don't be embarrassed, people. If I forget or I miss it, to let me know if I'm running all them commercials. My thing is you run a commercial in the beginning, a skippable commercial. That's the only kind of YouTube stuff that I watch even. If you got more than that, I don't even watch it. Right? But we get something if you have a skippable commercial in the beginning. Be quiet. I mean, I guess the one at the end wouldn't hurt anything because you can always click off that. But this stuff in the middle, every few seconds, you got a commercial. That's a new thing on YouTube. So I know people think, oh, you're being greedy. No, it ain't me. But I did get a check for damn near on the 11th. You can check and see how much money you made, right? I did get a check for double what it was last month and the month before that. and the month before that. So I'm still not gonna put all the commercials in there. I think that's ridiculous. It's excessive. Unless the person chooses to put them in there, you know. Mm-hmm. Sable Winters, okay. Hello, Motown. This is Motown. Oh, I gotta go. Now y'all go. I'm enjoying the lady. What's his name? Brown? The lady who's reading my Epiphany book. It's Almond Brown. She reads it every Monday, and I think the time is 6:00. I've been enjoying it. It's interesting to hear someone else read your book back to you. So if you got some time around 6:00, check out that. You can order the book for I think $5 on Amazon. But that was what my favorite child was, the Epiphany. And you know, the hope is, some people say, "Oh, you can't read the book, nobody will buy it," but they ain't buying it anyway, honey. So the hope is that if you get into the story, then you want to read the other books. So I have 4 books in that series. Right? How is your city looking now with the wildfire still in the sky is blue today, and the skies are blue, and oh, what a revelation. It's been hit and miss, Mulatto King Justin. Sometimes the sky is gray. If the fire is near here, the whole sky is gray. We had one day that looked like the Twilight Zone, where we had no light in the middle of the daytime. It was like midnight in the middle of the daytime. That only lasted a couple of days. But since we're in a big city here, we don't have those fires like they do out there where they have all of this forage. I mean, they got hundreds of miles of forestry. And this has been one of the worst years they've ever had. Not only California, but the whole West Coast. Right? So Donald Trump said, go out there with your broom and sweep the leaves. You think I'm lying, but that's basically what he said, the forestry. And then he's in charge of the forestry. He didn't take responsibility for shit. Nothing. You see how he's always so eager to call this the China virus? Because he got to keep blaming somebody. No, dude, you have to clean it up. You got to clean it up. That was your job. It ain't just about you going waving because you're the president. Look at it, they love Trump. They love Trump. I don't think he's done shit in there. All he does is, look what I signed. So you signed the paper, and then everybody else went and did the work. You ain't did nothing. If you're ready, I want to hear our views. You haven't done nothing. Trump ain't did nothing but cut taxes for rich people. And now he wants to hold back on all these damn stimulus which the country desperately needed. We desperately need stimulus because people are barely holding on, and people are trying to raise families and so forth. I feel for the families. You out of work, you can't go to work, your plant is closed down, you got no money. You're supposed to try to pay all these bills with unemployment. And he's hesitating, trying to figure out what is the most advantageous political move he can make. Like that's going to change everybody's vote. We already know what you are, Trump. We already know what you are, Damian Thorne. Can you smell the burning? Nope. Not today. When you have the fires that are near here, yeah, you can smell fire. You can, mostly it's the sky. The sun gets covered and the clouds get covered with all this soot, right? But not right now. I'm fortunate that I haven't experienced a lot of that. Even in Los Angeles, they had, like Malibu and all that, they always had slides and fires and stuff near the city. But here in San Francisco, a fire can't really catch here in a populated city. So I felt relatively safe. But 2 weeks ago, it didn't feel so safe. When it's dark in the middle of the daytime, it felt like things were getting awful close. I mean, there have been in history big fires that have wiped out whole cities, right? I believe San Francisco was one of those cities, the Great San Francisco Fire. And they had the big Chicago fire. But then everything was wood, of course. Did they start liking us? Oh, they liked us. They doubled the likes. One of these days, my moderator is going to tell me what these likes mean. I mean, how did that work exactly? I'm way behind in all the technical stuff. Yeah, so Miss Almond Brown, she's on chapter 7 in that book. I forget how many it goes. Does I have one? No, I don't have one here. I think it's wonderful. So that's my opinion, but I wrote it. First thing in American history to have 5 presidents since 2017. We had 5 presidents since 2017. How's that possible? One day it's Trump, the next day it's Hillary. That fool's now you try Trump. We don't give a fuck about no Hillary's emails, girl. What the fuck you thought was in the email? Oh, she hid her email. How many have your daughter hidden? Working in the White House. We don't give a shit about Hillary Clinton's emails. He's trying to bring it, and he wants Barack Obama arrested and Biden too. And he already got his lackey. He said, well, maybe if he look into it, usually he throws those hints, and all of a sudden people are getting investigated. Child, please. We are not interested in Hillary Clinton. That was not even the president. We loved Hillary Clinton, but you tricked her out of her presidency. You tricked us out of our history, Trump, by inserting your funky ass. People voting for a damn reality star. What the fuck? I wonder how many of his followers on that show who thought they were talking to a billionaire, this super businessman. I wonder how many of them are his Trump support. Are they choose him based on his television show? I say Nene for president. Honey, if Trump can win, why can't Nene win? Shit. We might get Kamala Harris, though, as the first black president. I don't know. We got to start watching her. First, we got to get him in office. You got him? Okay. Thank you, Miss Motown. Thank you very much. Let's see. Anything else going on? So you guys, I see nobody said anything about this Floyd person. So you don't feel like it's bad? What was that dude? Chauvin has gotten out of prison. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference how much you protest. It seems like they just still do what they want to do. He should be out there with no bail. It's a murder. Is it first degree or second degree murder? You shouldn't be able to buy your way out of a murder. Why has he got a bail at all? Sit his ass there and think about what he did. You love my shirt? Thank you. My stripes. Heidi Fly don't like my clothes. She said I'm supposed to dress like her. I'm a man, Heidi Monster. Heidi Fly Monster. At first, I just had the meth monster, right? When I wrote this book, he was the meth monster, right? But now I'm seeing there's all kind of monsters out there. Shit, I done identified about 5 monsters. I said, your ass is a monster too. Fire monster, Heidi Fly monster. All kind of creatures out there in the world, honey. Monster. I should write another book about monsters. It wouldn't be real monsters. It would be something like bad people. A monster ball. Is there a song already called Monster Ball or a movie? I think I heard that. For you writers, always go and Google your titles because there might already be 7, 8 books by the title. I named one of my books Muse, right? About a writer who becomes a novelist who becomes a writer, but he's also that is the most intricate book I wrote. Anyway, I called it Muse. And after I titled it, I didn't think about, anybody else got a book like that. I went on, there must have been 20 books called Muse. I mean, it's still legal. They can't sue you because you use the name, but you don't want your book to have the same name as other books. Change it slightly or something. Heidi Fly wears used hooker boots from the thrift shop. That girl, child, this thing about his clout, it's something else, ain't it? This thing about Miss Heidi Monster, she ain't got no problem with me, child. Heidi Monster goes in there and she says usually 4 or 5 other content creators. She'll put them in her titles and she'll put them in her commentary because then they'll come back at her and then she'll be relevant. That's the way her mind works. So we can't take people like Heidi Fly Monster too seriously because a lot of us are wondering, well, girl, if you got lip kit companies and then you got you a rap singer and you do rap videos and you make sexy clothing, you do, why the hell are you on here, girl, begging for likes and views on YouTube? I would think you were too busy if you got all these corporations and things. Monster Ball was a movie by Billy Job Thornton and Halle Berry. Plus, okay, we definitely can't do Monster Ball. Party, doom. Child, writing is like the American dream to get a novel done. So, whatever reason, I got 5 of them done, and the inspiration ain't coming. So, you listen to a writer after he's finished the project, right? As far as his hopes and dreams, I done started several. Honey, that don't mean shit. When they have published, that's when you start paying attention to writers' books. Don't be going by what they say they're writing. They don't even know what they're writing to damn near the end of it. Where are your high boots? Tell my high boots. I gotta say though, I like to be honest. I thought she looked real good in Atlanta. I like that outfit. Now that yes, she didn't look like just a hooker on the street. She looked like a high-end hooker. She had like a bodysuit on. She had them thigh-high boots, which I've seen her wear before. They've got like a wrap around them or something like that. She had a little purse thing, and she has a nice body. So I didn't think I had a problem with Miss Heidi Monster. I thought she looked good. But now I see her in a different light. The way she could see, people don't realize what you sacrifice when you sacrifice your respect. When people all of a sudden don't respect you, they don't see you the same way. I didn't see you as a hooker before, but now I see you clearly, Miss Heidi Fly Monster. If you want to keep on digging, go ahead and dig, but prepare yourself for the pain. Thigh-high boots. If I was a woman, I'd probably wear me a pair. I probably have one pair at least. If I was a woman and you were a man, you have no other woman. You be meek as a lamb. If you had the strength to walk out that door, my heart would ever lose my sense, and I call you back for more. I got to start doing my videos either earlier or later. It's 5:03. I'm supposed to be out of here at 4:30 every day. I don't know why I can't get that. It's the simplest thing. But I think I started around 3 o'clock, and by the time that's the time I get my engines going, you know. But of course, it's time to take the baby out now. Just say hello to you guys. Roxbury, of course, Chauvin, she stay in prison. Of course, she stay in prison, at least to the trial. Damn, is he gonna get anything out of this? He didn't raise the monies, right? Somebody else just goes to get, it shouldn't make a difference how much money you got, is my point. All them black and brown people would not be in jail if they could raise the bail. They don't have nobody. A lot of times people are separated from the families. They don't even know anybody in their city, child. Monster Ball. Yeah, I got to use my Google more because you Google things and you'll be amazed. I try to write, but I'm OCD. I get stuck in describing every single detail. Oh, I understand, Milano King. But it's the process though. So I have a friend that I see in the park every day. He's writing. He kind of asks, he looks up to me because I was writing books for 12 years. Anyway, we talk all the time. and he gets stuck, boggled down in the detail. But I'm still jealous of him because he's writing. He's in the process. He's creating something out of nothing. So many times, even if you can sit down there and get into the story, even if you do have to over describe things, I would say skip through the book, write a first draft, and then you go back and you can take your time and play with it as long as you want and expand everything, right? I think that's how they do screenwriting too. They just put man walks into a room. Later on, they come back and they describe the room. But as long as you're writing, I admire you, honey. I don't know what my block is. I certainly understand writer's block. Some people say, oh, some of these writers, oh, there's no such thing as writer block. But there's no such thing as writer's block for you, honey. That's all that is. You gotta crave, you gotta want to write about something. Something has to inspire you. Sitting up here in this hot ass room, you see, hot ass room, sweating all over my arm, is not inspiring me to write. Now maybe that's a weak excuse. I don't know. The white supremacists, well, they sure got him out of jail. The whites will make him their hero. It's just crazy. What are these people so afraid of? I mean, they said, I think the recent statistics were his country was 70% white. Now they call white people all these different countries, so you know exactly what white is, because they're supposed to be all white, but then they don't. The Jews will not replace us, they say. And then in some instances they have problems with Italians even, but all those groups are called white people. So they have a comfortable lead. Sit back, enjoy your privilege, and share. Then you learn how to share. That's what it comes down to. Let somebody else have a decent life. You complaining about crime and all that kind of shit? Why don't we try to experiment of encouraging other people to have a decent life as well? We ain't got to just claw everything, Trumpians. Take. You don't want to share. It's like you got all mad at the Mexican people. What are you sacrificing? Because all the people I've seen, they're doing some of the crappiest jobs. I mean, you can get your ass out there and pick oranges and pick fruit and do all this kind of stuff and be your fucking maid and raise your goddamn children. You don't want to do it. So he made this whole damn conspiracy, this whole thing about Mexican people, the invaders at the border, and you took those people's children away and were those families all reunited? Can you imagine being a child, somebody just take your mama like she's a pig or something? Lord have mercy. Yes, please donate to Cash App. I'll tell y'all one story if I leave. These goddamn phones. Now, I don't know if my Cash App is working or not. I had it on there. I had to get a new phone, right? At some point, my phone just stopped working. So I go down to Metro PCS. That's what kind of service I have. Yes, I'm a retiree. Don't trip. I go down to Metro PCS. I said, I need a phone battery for my phone. I only had the phone less than 2 years. They said, oh, we don't sell batteries. Oh, really? Okay. So you got all these damn phones in here, and you didn't tell me there's no batteries. Okay. She says, go to Best Buy. They said maybe you can get a battery there. So I walk to Best Buy. I don't have a car. I walk to Best Buy, maybe 5 or 6 blocks. I get to Best Buy. We don't sell batteries. Okay. Here I go again. They got all these goddamn phones in there. They don't sell batteries. The issue is, people, when most people go to the store and they say, we don't sell batteries, but we have this phone. They want you to buy a phone every time you come in. Why is that necessary? I mean, it used to be you go pay $15. They take the back off your phone and put it. So I had to walk all the way back to Metro PCS. I said, I think you should know that your nearest rival or the person who has batteries doesn't sell batteries, instead of having people walk all that distance. And I said, well, can you retrieve my information, my pictures, my videos? Oh, no, we can't do that because the phone won't come on. Okay. So my phone won't come on because the battery is dead. Okay. You guys have not worked out how to start this phone enough to where you can get my information out and put it in my other phone, right? So now I got to buy a phone with any videos, any pictures, family pictures, all gone, and Cash App, all gone. You got to put it in manually. Very snappy little young lady. You got to remember these people are young, so I understand. Anyway, so I had to buy a new phone. I have no phone numbers. My family, I'm going to have to wait till they call me so I have their numbers so I can save it in the phone. So I had to buy I guess I throw the other phone away. Anyway, people, if your phone starts to look like the battery's going dead, you have to go online now to buy the battery. This is what people are telling me. Buy the battery, because that one, I don't even know that this one even has a battery in it. Some of them are turning like Apple phones. At Apple, you can't even get in there to change the battery. Like Kindle, I bought one of those recently too. You can't even change the battery. So is that where the phones are going now? Everything's a ripoff. Because now everybody has to have a phone. Homeless people got phones. Everybody got a phone now. So they got to figure out, how can I maximize my profits? They done merged. They done merged Metro with T-Mobile and now with Verizon. All this goddamn money, all these billions of dollars they spent, and now they reduced to nobody sells the battery. You got to buy a new phone. Because a lot of people will buy a new phone. They don't know about going to get batteries off a line and all that. Oh, that phone ain't no good. I hate when they do that. Oh, that phone's out of style. Oh, that phone, they only last for 2 or 3 years and all this bullshit. Whatever happened to a phone that lasts you 10 years? Anyway, reinstall Cash App. Yeah, I tried to, but it won't show up on here. Who's that at? Miss Motown. It's in here somewhere, because if I, it just won't show up on the window. Yeah. I just wanted to show up on the window. I can just tap it. It's such an easy program. I'll take it out and put it back in and see if I can get the. I got to figure out how to get the icon to show on my phone is the only issue. I was smart enough to tell the old lady, listen, young girl, can you at least get YouTube on this phone before I leave here? Because that's the only thing I use it for, make a phone call and YouTube. So she did do that. So, Oh, one other thing, in closing, this is how God works. I told y'all my money been funny for a while, right? People don't have no money to be passing around. So when I said I need a phone. I went down there and just bought a phone. Well, I didn't know how much money I had left in that account, right? So I said, oh shit, I better check and see how close I am, because the damn phone was damn near $100. And I went down there. I figured maybe I got $60, $70. And that money that I asked for from the YMCA, they refunded me from all the way back to April. That money was there. So the same time I was spending money, the money was being replaced. Oh, what a God. What a God we serve. Hallelujah. Oh, good night, people. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Let's pray this boy gets what he deserves. This guy, what's his name? Derric Chauvin. Let's hope that he gets what he deserves, whatever it is. It's up to God. Mm-hmm.